Namaste. Welcome to Buddha's teaching. Today's talk, we're gonna talk about, as you've seen in the topics, the monster in our head. Okay, and I think some of you can relate to that, and some of you have a good idea of what I'm talking about. The monster in our head. Okay, so what is it? What is the monster? Okay, on a day-to-day basis, from sunrise to sunset, as we wake up until the time that we go to sleep, our mind is always running, right? Our thought is always running. So what kind of thought that is running in our mind dictates the mood, dictates our environment, dictates our peace or our issue, right? So it's all happening in the mind. Okay, so what goes on? What is the monster? So the monster that I'm referring to is the problem, is the voice that keeps going on inside our head. Okay, a lot of us, we grow into some kind of habit of thinking about something, about the same thing over and over again. Okay, so it's a repeating thought, and that repeating thought uh, get bigger and bigger, just like a snowball, sometimes. So it depends on what kind of repeating thought that we are conducting in our mind, and that's how we feel that day, or in that moment, right? um, so that's what we call the chattering mind, the mind that keeps talking to itself. Okay, keep thinking about this, thinking about that. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, we think about a lot of things. Okay, so that's why we call that the mind is always disturbed, cannot have peace, cannot find peace, because our mind is always thinking. Okay, but the thinking that create issue in our head, that our mind is, when our mind is very agitated. Okay, and the mind is not happy. Okay, and the mind that can get angry very easily. Okay, and snap very fast, because the mind is under stress due to whatever circumstances or reason. So the mind does a lot of thinking, and the mind has a lot of um, negative feelings toward certain things, toward certain people, toward certain events, right? But especially toward certain people, and those people are usually the ones who are close to us, not far. Okay, the one that is not related to us, and on or far from us, we do think about it a little bit, but then we sort of like we can put it off somewhere. But the one that is close to us, that's the one that causes us the most problem. Okay, and also usually the one who we love the most. Normally that turn into somebody that we have a lot of issue with, or we hate the most. Okay, so when we have problem like that, we have stress, we have anger built up, and then the mind keep thinking. Okay, and talking to itself about, and then it's the mind start um, complaining, start pointing out faults in the other person. Okay, this and that, and and it keeps repeating a lot of things. over and over again. Okay, so now the mind becomes even more stressful because the mind keeps thinking about the same thing and over and over and over again. That is the mind that we are talking about. Okay, it's become very, very obsessed with that very particular person, with the particular stream of thoughts that is running, and that stream of thought is building on top and over, and it gets stronger and stronger. So, and that eventually disturb, the person enough that, the person will have a sleepless night, will develop some kind of ache and pain in the body, do not feel good and all that. So this is like some kind of disease, or some, it's a mental sickness that the person does not know about and is not aware of it, because it's running inside the head, right? So that is the monster we are referring to. Okay, the chaos, the thinking that goes on. And normally when the person is caught up in that kind of mood, in that kind of situation, that you can tell in the in the expression of the face, the facial expression. You can see that the person is under a lot of stress. Okay, and also another kind of because the monster has many faces, of course. Okay, when the monster is angry, that is one face, and that anger can build up, over and over again, becomes a big angry monster, at somebody or whatnot, and that become a really raging monster. Okay, and with that, of course, the when the person have that kind of thought that runs in the head, normally, of course, for human being, everything start with the mind, right? And after the mind come out the speech and out the action that people can do, okay, or people can tell other people to do. Okay, um, now another face of the monster is the face of the victim. Okay, so let's say the person had gone through some kind of unfortunate experience in life, all right, when they were young, years ago, or can be not too long ago, all right. So the memory of what had happened to him or her is very strong, and keeps coming back, all right. So a lot of time, so those people, when they are in a way they are kind of being haunted by the same thinking of past event, or what had happened before, whether physical abuse, verbal abuse, or any kinds of abuse, or negative thing that happened to them. The thinking mind is putting the person down, all right. The thinking mind keep repeating over and over and over again, because that make the person feel low, have low self-esteem, as they say, because that voice in the head that is running, that is chattering, all right, that goes on inside the head. That voice um, can be very negative, can be very dark. Okay, why happened like this, and why did he do that? Okay, others, why other people are so lucky then, and why I'm not, and all of those things, all right. countless things that the mind can make um, the itself feel bad. It make itself feel, you know, uh, lost, and it sort of like dig itself into a dark hole, right? Deeper and deeper as that monster grows bigger and bigger, and that put the person into depressing mode, you know, very stressed and very depressed, and of course that also can lead to sickness, you know, some kind of disease that can develop inside, right? So that is the monster that we are talking about, and I'm sure you have seen people who have gone through that, and you know, and of course the cause of it is a lot of time, we as we know, there's the person, when the person can has hot temper, when the person have the habit of reacting so fast, and so they can become angry fast, okay, and when something does not happen to according what they want, they like or they want, okay, they have raging you know, feeling inside, okay, and that, you know, is like a big ball of fire that is happening inside the person, okay. So all of that um, is all of this is based on, of course, the poison that we have, that we know in the teaching, in Buddha's teaching, the poison from greed or desire, and the poison from anger or hatred, right? These these two poison right here are the main culprit, right? Are the main cause of the monster in our head, right? Now, so I'm I've seen people, and I, you know, people who become hallucinated, right? People who who get dig themselves into a deep place, into a deep spot, okay. The person become not normal anymore, and you know, because after they go through, after the running monster mind that keeps running in the head over whatever, you know, can be a lot of time domestic issue within the family, okay, and it keeps going on, whether there's a lot of fight going on in the house between whoever, right? It doesn't matter, or the person has a lot of trauma experience from the past, and they become fearful, right? Afraid of things, become have a lot of anxiety, okay, and become anxious all the time. Anything they just, oh, you know, panic and all that. So this kind of thing, it builds up, okay, it builds up. It's now that is what I call the monster, right? That is building up inside the person's head. So after a while, you know, the mind start going unstable, okay, and so that is the effect of the monster. That what the monster do, the monster mind. So the person start, you know, hallucinate and start hearing voices, you know, from this, from there, you know, from the table, from the wall, from the sink, from whatever. They start hearing voices, or they start seeing things, right? They look at, you know, we look at it, and they look at the wall, and they say, oh, they see something. They look over there and they see something. Now it's the product of the negative mind, is the product of the monster, that the mind got itself caught up in a vicious loop, in a vicious cycle, and it keeps repeating on itself, building itself a bigger monster, a bigger, becoming a bigger victim, becoming a bigger anger machine, hatred machine, and that ball of madness grows bigger and bigger, and um, that can make the person go crazy. Okay, so that is the effect of the monster, of the monster mind, the mind that has strong emotion, right? Has strong, you can say, has a strong will of doing something, but when the thing does not work the way it wants, it becomes so, it becomes so tense, and it becomes so agitated, and it just blow, right? That kind of personality, that's what brings a person into that scenario, into that situation. So that is the monster, right? That I'm talking about. And from time to time, for all of us, uh, I'm sure, for most of us, right? I wouldn't say all, but for most of us, we have been a monster from time to time, all right? Although many of us did not or have not gotten into that severity, into that grave situation, but there are times, and I'm sure there will be times for many untrained mind to goes into that kind of rage, and that go into that monster mode in the mind. Okay, the mind becomes, oh, go crazy. Okay, the mind, because the mind is not happy, the mind does not get what it wants, the mind becomes fearful, and all of that. So uh, normally for a lot of us, ordinary people, when we get to that stage, if we have we live with families and all that stuff, that is the time when they recommend us to go see a doctor, to go see a psychiatrist, right? To go see a shrink, to get some help, because now we are in a sort of like a helpless situation. Okay, because this thing here, it keeps going on. So we do not know what's going on, right? But as a student of uh, of the teaching of the Buddha, as we go through the lesson, we know that all this thing here, all of this emotion that is going on inside a person's mind, right? Going whichever way, negative, positive, or neutral, or whatever, it always has its roots, right? So the cause for the monster that is growing in a person's mind are, of course, those poison, right? The greed or desire, and it's strong, and that repeat, it builds up and create all kinds of crazy things. That's the reason why it's very important for us to study about our own mind, to study about these negative mental faculties that we all have, to prevent this from happening, right? Either to us or to our loved ones, by sharing the lesson, by helping each other out, say, okay, hey, you and I, we are human beings. We have these negative things in our mind, and when that happens, watch it. You know, things like that. We share ideas, we share thoughts to help each other as a preventive way, right? So that into the future, it doesn't happen, especially to our young ones, right? To our kids who are growing up, we have to show them and guide them the proper way. Otherwise, if, let's say, like for example, if you have spoiled children, right? If you have spoiled children, they tend to flare up very fast, because they always have they always get what they want, of course, right? That's why they're spoiled. So when they're not, when they don't get what they want, now they throw the tantrum and they go out. So when they're small, that is one thing. But if that habits continue into adulthood, they're gonna go into a lot of problem, okay? Because they don't know how to handle this, the thing that they expect, and then it doesn't happen, and now they become mad, become all of that. And if they meet some kind of unfortunate events, they don't know what to do, and then everything builds up. Why me? Why me? Why? What happened here? And then they put themselves into a situation that um, become so dark. They don't know what they have, hopeless. They have nobody to count on, right? To say help, what's going on here. It's because it's difficult, because it happens inside, right, inside the head. That's why it's so important for us to be aware of this, right? So that we don't grow our own monster, because these monsters are homegrown, right? Um, Based on anger, the habitual anger that we produce, habitual hatred that we produce, the habitual victimhood that we produce. That is the monster that we generate for ourselves, okay? And that is something that we have to be alarmed of, be aware of. Oh, we gotta watch out for this, okay? And otherwise, I mean, if the person later on in life become, so I have friends who had gone through that, okay, and that they have to go to see psychiatrists, all that stuff, to get the medication to help calm their brains down, so that the brain activity is so crazy like that. So the medicine, of course, help suppress the brain's wave down, to calm it down, so it doesn't think too much, right? I mean, that does help also to a certain degree, but it does not eliminate the root cause now completely, because human being always have strong anger and strong anger, greed, desire. If those things are not taken care of, are not understood, they will come back later, okay? After the person go through medication, all that stuff, is recover for a little bit. But if they get back into the same old habit, then the monster will come back, right? Because the person never get to learn to understand the true root cause of the monster that goes on inside, okay? So and as we all know, the monster don't just grow big, like come big like this. It builds up from the little thing, right? The little thing here and there, and grow, they grow, and the little thing happens all the time. But when people do not know how to handle little things, it become big things. So of course, now we have to, in order for us to prevent that from happening, or prevent that from happening to ourselves, and also from our loved ones, especially the young ones who are growing up. We need to study about our mind, okay, for us. But first, it has to start with us, right? Before we can help others, help ourselves first, to understand what goes on, okay? All right. So that's the reason. That's again come back to Buddha's teaching. The Buddha said, look back, right? So how do we take care of this monster that we have, the angry monster that consume us, right? The hatred monster that consume us, hate that person. Because when you hate somebody so bad, you know the thinking, it could going about this, and then the thinking train goes one direction, trying to figure out a way to get back at that person, let's say like a revenge, okay, a retribution, okay. So the mind turn negative and trying in any which way the mind can think of to uh, hurt that person, to harm that person, right? So there goes the train of negative thinking. And before that happened to that person, whatever the thinking monster is doing, the thinking monster is already consuming that that body that the monster is occupying, right? The person that the monster occupies already is the victim of the monster. That's the first victim, all right? And then that first victim of the monster mind, or the body of the victim, to say certain things or to do things or to figure out things to destroy the other person. See, that is the hatred monster, right? So, and the same thing is for it's a train of thought. It's just like there's so many kinds of trains of thought for people who are depressed or live in past memory. So the train of thought go in another direction, figure out a way to that that keep putting stress, putting pressure on this body, this innocent body that does not know anything, but the monster mind, the depressed monster mind, right? Keep putting pressure on this body and make this body sick, make this body sad and depressed, and can ultimately lead this monstrous mind can make this body do certain things to harm itself, right? So that's why we have to watch out for this strong desire, right? Strong greed. So the strong desire, okay, as you know, desire, there's so many kinds. In this scenario, the desire of the victim is that the desire of what already happened not happen. How is that possible? It's already happened, but the desire said, I wish they wish that it didn't happen. Okay, so now the victim is fighting with the truth, with the reality, that something that you cannot change, right? Because it already happened, it's gone. But the victim cannot let go of that and keeps going back and create this monstrous atmosphere environment within to destroy the innocent body. So this monster here, we have to be very careful. If we are not aware of this mind here can be very powerful in a positive way and also in a negative way, right? So to cure this disease, which we call this is the true mental sickness, okay, that is based on greed or desire, that is based on anger and hatred, right? And these two are based on ignorance, okay. So we have to become aware. That's why we have to learn to observe, okay. We learn to slow down activities, all right, that we do on a daily basis here. We learn to slow it down a little bit, okay. If you're the type of person who go faster, slow it down a little bit, okay. Do not respond, do not react fast, like lightning fast, okay. Slow it down a little bit, become aware of your own emotion, right? And become aware of the thought that is running in the head, right? Whatever thought that is running in the head, you have to be able to become aware of that thought, okay. As you walk around, you see things that you don't like. All of a sudden, you don't like children doing something, or you tell somebody to do certain things and they don't do what you according to what you like, and now you have this thinking thing going on, the little train in your head about that person. Oh, I tell him to do this a million times, and he didn't listen. He don't listen to me, and or this person here, why he look at me like that? Why is he's looking down at me like I'm trash, and all of these things here. Okay, that is the monster in the head, the thinking. Keep, oh, I just, or why he forget my anniversary, maybe he does not like me anymore, and all, and then you sit there and just thinking, and let the thought, the thought is running like that. Okay, why this? Okay, he should. That is the monster, right? So that is the thought. Those are the emotions that create the thought. You have to become aware of that, what goes on in here. Okay, that is so important, right? So what goes on in here, you have to become aware. Oh, okay, wait a minute, what's going on here? Which way is this train of thought is going? Okay, slow it down. Slow it down and say, okay, no, that's not a good place that you want to go, right? That's not a good place that you want to go. So you need to slow down, take a deep breath, and then out, long one. Okay, do that multiple times a day. Just relax and try to calm this mind down, clear this mind down. All right, and just keep watch of this. That's big. If you don't do that, and if because the mind needs our mind needs to be trained. Okay. If you don't do that, a lot of us who are not aware of our own thought, okay, when we think about something, we usually just go with it, right? We that's just the way we have been, right? When we think of something, it just keep going. So a lot of time, since we cannot see ourselves, we cannot see our own face, but other people can see our own face, right? A lot of time we go like this, even though you are doing something, but we're like this. Other people can see that he is thinking about something, or she is thinking about something. See, that train of thought is going on inside the head right there. You see, but the person himself or herself is not aware of that, so they just go with the thinking, right? They're not aware that, hey, wait a minute, what is this mind is thinking? Because the mind, for a lot of people, the mind is who they are. They what they think, that's who they are. But what they're not aware of is that is just the thinking mind, right? When the mind does not get something, expect something it didn't get, dislike something, or like something, even liking something. Let's say a boy or a girl, all right? Let's say a boy like a girl, or a girl like a boy, and all they can think about is that person. Oh, oh, he looked good, and handsome. He smile, the way he smile, or the girl, or vice versa. Oh, she's so pretty. All the things. You see the thinking go? Okay, that is the train of thought that keeps going. We are not aware of that, right? That is what we need to be aware of. Say, oh wait, what is my thinking is doing, right? So that is what we need to catch, and because that can lead us into dark places. So if we happen to be unfortunate, okay, let's say if you happen to be one of the person who right now is caught up in a situation. Now there's a monster that you already feel it, right? You're already in the situation. Okay, what do you need to do? If you can, right? If you can, a lot of time when this monster is running, when that train of thought is running inside your head, just sit down. Okay, if you can, just sit down. All right, relax, calm down. Okay, now there's the thinking mind thinking about that person or thinking about something or fearful about something, right? Panicking about something, just calm down, sit down, relax. Okay, you take deep breath, right? In and out, and you don't fight with that train of thought. You don't fight with that monster. You just become aware of it. That's all you do. All right. Don't try to suppress it. Don't try to say, "Oh, I don't want to think about this." I, don't do that. Okay. Oh, I see it, or I can hear some voice. When you do that, it's a force that you're trying to fight. You're having a fight inside your head. Okay, you're afraid, you're scared of something. Now there's agitation, negative activity going on. Okay, or raging monster or hate that going on. You just calm down. You don't fight. You calm down and you just watch that emotion. Right? You say, okay. You just say to yourself, oh, I hear the voice. Let's say, okay, let the voice speak. Okay, I see things. Okay, let it be seen. Just okay. All right. You're not fighting with that emotion. You're not fighting with that monster. Okay, do not fight. You're just now accepting. You're just observing. Okay, you hear. Okay, I hear. All right, just be still and hear it. Listen. Just listen. No reaction. Do not react. Nothing. Just observe. That's it. If you see things, just see. No observe. Okay? No fighting. No nothing. Just be still and observe. Okay. Just say. Like that. I hear you. Okay. And then you say, I see. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead and say, okay. And talk. Go ahead. Just be like that. Be still and let it go. Let it run. But you're not going with it. You just observe it. See, that's a difference. You're not going with the emotion or what. You just pull back and listen to it, okay, and watch it. And then after a while, it will dissipate. It will stop. Okay, that emotion or whatever the voice or whatever you see or whatever it. After a while, it just subside. It calms down and it disappear and it goes away, and different kind of thought comes in, right? So you just sit there, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, that's it. And that's the only medicine. Okay, you're not fighting with those things. So you just be calm, quiet, and listen. What you are doing there is that now you're becoming friend to yourself. Okay, you're becoming friend to yourself. Right? Before you're fighting with this emotion, right? You're fighting with all this going on here. But now this monster, you become aware of it. You become aware of this war that goes on inside. The monster that disturb you day and night. You become aware that okay, there is this monster going on. No more fighting, so you just relax and let's just observe it and become an observer of those thoughts that keep rising. based on hatred, based on greed, victimhood, desire, expectation, they keep coming up. But you don't go with it, okay? You just observe, okay, now that thought is coming up again. That feeling is coming up again. That voice is coming up again. Whatever that's come, all right, let it come. Just sit there. Let it do whatever it wants to do. Go ahead, but just don't go with it. Just, okay, you want to think about it, you want to say something, go ahead. Let it do it. So now you're not fighting with that, arising monster. You let it does, okay, come. It comes and it goes, it comes and it goes. And this takes time, okay? This takes practice, and it takes patience on your part, okay? And this can take months, all right? Months or even years, okay, to change yourself, become accepting to this thought, okay, especially this negative thing, negative train of thought that keep arising. You just observe it, not going with it, and let it go. It arises. When it arises, you become aware. All right, make sure that's the important thing. That's the key thing. When the negative thought arises, okay, oh, that thought come again. Let me watch. Okay, go ahead. And then it's gonna disappear, and something else, some other thought come to replace it, and watch that thought also, right? Positive, negative, okay, just watch it. After a while, the negative thought, the monster that has been bothering you, that is giving you all kinds of, making you crazy, right? That monster, when it comes, before it has you to fight with, all right? There's clashing going on in here. But now you stop fighting with that monster, right? You're not fighting with that monster anymore. So now that since you're not fighting with monster, the monster come, you just, do all that stuff, but he has no one to fight with. After a while, that monster will come less and less. It will come to visit you. It will keep coming to visit you, but if they come, okay, you come, and then you just watch and go. When the monster have no one to fight with, eventually the monster will stop coming by itself, because you're not fighting with that monster anymore. Okay, there you go. That's your peace right there. Now your peace is restored because you're not fighting with the monster in your head. No more war. Okay, so of course I would encourage you to understand and to learn, to study more about the monster, why the monster arises in the first place, right? Why the monster arises in the first place. Okay, so study about greed, desire, anger, hatred, and ignorance. Okay, that's what I like to share with you all today. Until next time, I like to pay respect to the triple gems. I like to pay respect to the Buddha. I like to pay respect to the Dharma. And I like to pay respect to the Sangha. Namaste.